So welcome to another review of The Shield During the Couch. Today, I'm doing a first. We're doing a collaborative review. I'm here with my friend Eguie. I think you met him if you saw the Tunnl19 review. So he not only plays in that band, but he's a huge Pearl Jam fan, and he has a Pearl Jam tribute that he's been doing. Like, has it been 10 years now, Eguie?
Yeah, it's been like since 2013, I think.
Yeah, so yeah,
So
almost
2013.
almost 10 years. So we're
Yeah,
here to
9 years. Yeah.
9 years. Yeah, almost. So we're here to discuss the new Eddie Vedder album called Earthling. So this is the follow-up. I know he has two solo albums. There's the ukulele songs that he had, I think, in 2012. And
Ukulele songs and Into the Wild soundtrack.
And the soundtrack to Into the Wild. So obviously he's been very busy with Pearl Jam all these years, but now he came back with a new album, and we both heard it. I've been listening to it quite a bit. So we're not gonna talk each tracks, but basically I want to talk about my favorite tracks. Eguie can talk about what he thought about the album, and we'll reach to a conclusion and what we thought of it like at the end. So if you want, I can start on, or Eguie, you can start, whatever you feel like it.
Okay, you're gonna put me on the spot there.
Yeah, first let's everyone show the. So this is the album Eddie Vedder Earthling. I like the cover. I think the cover with the colors and everything's pretty cool. So at first listen to the album, when I first listened to it last week, the first thought that came to mind is that actually I enjoyed it more than the last Pearl Jam album, Giganton, because even though Giganton I thought started really strong, like the last songs to me was a snooze fest. And what I liked of what Eddie did in this album is that the songs, first of all, are sporadically, like there's like slower songs mixed with newer songs, and not like he did with Pearl Jam, that he put all the fast songs, like the first 5 songs, like the 7 songs, and then it's a snooze fest until the end. So I thought that was something that I thought was a plus. Like the sequence of the album to me, for me personally, helped the experience. And also I thought that I like that Eddie Vedder did some experimentation here in some songs. Like, for example, a song like Long Way Home really reminded me of Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers for some reason.
Yeah, it did for me as well. It has a Tom Petty vibe, and I think like it has a little bit of Bruce Springsteen as well, but it has a lot of Tom Petty influences there.
Oh yeah, it did, and especially the part on that when he goes like singing "Long Way," it really reminded me a little bit of Free Falling for just a moment. Like it had that hint. And I really like the lyrics that he's using in this album, because I think it's like a really down-to-earth, vulnerable album, but he also has some songs on it that are like really fun and peppy. Like, for example, I think of the song Try, that it's like really fast beat, and it has like a harmonica where he's playing. And it's like, it's like a short, like almost 2-minute song, but it's like really fast and really.
The song especially remind me a little bit of the Black Crowes. It has a little bit of that vibe of the Black Crowes. I don't know if it was because of the harmonica, but for me, like it sounded a little bit like the Black Crowes, and like and also like
you're going there again.
That see Mr. Jones, correct? Okay. Do you see me now? Can you hear me now?
Yes, it went like it freeze for a moment. Okay. Maybe it was Motley Crue trying to sabotage our review.
maybe. Okay, what I was saying is that it reminded me a little bit of the Black Crowes and also the Counting Crows at the same time, because I think it's because of the harmonica. Maybe it's because
and it's like a peppy, a beat, and something that really interesting, and I didn't know who the backing band was, but you told me that Chad Smith from the Red Hot Chili Peppers is playing the
drums,
and they have who else is doing is this band
Um,
on this album for Earthling?
um, the I think that most of the production was done by Andrew Watt. Let me check. I'm gonna
Yeah,
check a little
yeah, I
for
know
a while
that
because
Chad Smith was on the drums, and there's a song that I really want to touch on was the collaboration he had with Elton John, Picture. I really thought that song was really interesting because it had the classic Elton John piano, but it
hmm
sounded like a country song,
yeah,
which I
this is
thought it
the
was odd because Elton John is British, but it's like it had that country vibe that it's like a song that you could be. I thought of like being in a country, like eating some steaks, and that's the type of vibe that he had in that
hmm
song. And I like that the album I like the album starter, Invincible. I think it sets the tone because I think Invincible has, it's not a super fast song, but it has some fast parts, and it shows like how upbeat but vulnerable side, and I think it's a good representation of what this whole album is about. I haven't been able to dissect really the lyrics. Have you have time to read some of the lyrics for this album?
yeah, a little bit of them. By the way, Invincible is one of my favorite songs of the album because it has like a little bit of YouTube vibe, and also it has a little bit of the Cure in it. Like it has a little bit of the Cure sound, especially on the guitars, and the lyrics. I think is there's like a mixture of Eddie Vedder's like romantic feelings about his wife. Also, I found like a lot of the lyrics were like I think there's an anecdote on this album that I think is the last song that the voice that appears on a loop in the last song. The last song is called
On
um
the last song is called On My Way.
yeah, On My Way. It's I don't know if this is true, but um it's, I think that the male vocals and on the chorus of that song is Eddie Vedder's real father.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's something that I heard. Also, I just checked out who was the producer of the album. The producer is Andrew Watt, and Andrew Watt he has worked with Miley Cyrus, 5 Seconds of Summer, Post Malone, and Ozzy Osbourne.
Yeah, so he's had that experience, but I like that it still sounds Eddie Vedder. He didn't
Mm-hmm,
went like, because you mentioned Ozzy Osbourne, and I hated that last Ozzy Osbourne album. I thought it was
mm-hmm,
terrible. But this Eddie Vedder album, I thought it was great. First of all, I wasn't going into it expecting it to sound like Pearl Jam. That's not what I wanted. I wanted it to sound differently. And I must admit, I I haven't heard much of ukulele songs or the other Eddie Vedder albums. At that time, I wasn't like paying too much attention to them.
mm-hmm.
But I think what he did in this album, it's enjoyable. It's an album that it doesn't take itself too seriously. I think it sounds like something that he was having fun. He didn't think too much about, like, with the lyrics, that when they do Pearl Jam albums, they
Mm-hmm.
take a long time because they go over the lyrics, they go over
Mm-hmm.
everything. This seemed like a more relaxed album. It seems like Eddie Vedder
Yeah,
was pretty chilled on it.
yeah.
Uh,
I think in the lyrics he talk about everything. For example, in the Sun Brother the Cloud, there's been like comments that the song is about his brother that passed away, but some people said also that it has like a little bit of the Chris Cornell story there because Chris Cornell was like a brother to him as well.
yeah, remember when
Um,
they played in Temple of the Dog?
mhm. And also the halves is like a romantic song, which I think he I think that is about his wife. Um,
Yeah,
and
yeah, his other half,
exactly.
the halves.
Hmm
Yeah, but I like that like this album had some great rocker tunes. Don't get me wrong. Like
Mhm.
Power of Right is really rocking. Brother of the Cloud, The Dark, Good and
Mhm.
Evil, Rose of Jericho. All those songs
Yeah.
are pretty rocking. So out of 13 songs, I think like the 7 songs or 8 songs are pretty rocking, and the
Mhm.
other ones are more mellow. There's only one song that I wasn't too fond about, and it was Mrs. Mills.
Ah,
Uh,
yeah.
yeah, I didn't like that song that much. I thought it was one of the weakest songs on the album.
Yeah. It has it has like a weird vibe.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
felt like kind of out of place with the other songs. I
Mhm.
don't know. I thought it was kind of weird, kind of trippy, and
Mhm.
uh, I wasn't too fond on that one. But I think if I had to pick favorite songs, my favorite song would be Invincible, Long Way, and I really like Try. I think Try is a good song.
Mhm.
The song with Elton John, I thought it was okay. It was
Yeah.
weird to me that it was like a country song, but I didn't think it was bad. But those other 3 songs were the favorite of mine. So in
Uh,
conclusion, for me,
mhm.
after listening to this album for almost a week now, uh, I would say it's a strong solo effort by Eddie Vedder. If you're a fan of Bruce Springsteen or like obviously Pearl Jam and
Mhm.
other type of singer-songwriters, I think it's an album that you could enjoy. It's an easy listen. It's not more than, it's like a 48-minute album, so it goes by pretty quickly. And I think that it's it's an album that, it's not complicated, and
Mhm.
it's an album that different people can relate with the different styles. So I enjoyed it. If I had to give it a score, I would probably rate it like a 3.5 out of 5
Mhm.
for me.
Yeah. Mhm.
It's a good decent album.
Yeah, I think it's for me as like in this case, I think it's the best Eddie Vedder album since Pearl Jam's Backspacer. I
That was
think like
2009.
yeah, because I did like the Lightning Bolt albums, but I just like a couple of songs. I didn't enjoy the whole album. And Gigaton is a little bit like you said, like it
Yeah,
starts.
it's a tale of two halves. It's a
Yeah,
first
exactly.
half that's really strong, and a second half that, oh boy, that put you
Hmm.
to sleep.
Yeah, it has good songs, but like after you listen like for a while, like you get bored.
Yeah,
Like,
I think it's all with the sequencing. Obviously I'm not a producer or a musician, but I think if you're doing an album and you have strong songs that are faster and songs that are slower, I think it's
mhm,
best to mix them up, because if you put like all the like fast songs at the end and all the
mhm,
slow songs, it sounds very disjointed. Like it's like a tale of two halves. One is boring, one is not. And what he did in this album, that's why I liked it so much, is like he was able to divide the slower songs with the faster
mhm.
songs and have some at the beginning, some at the middle, some at the end. And it kept your interest in the album because it didn't change drastically. And
Exactly.
that's a problem that Pearl Jam has had in their last
The
few
last.
albums. They
Mhm.
start really strong and then they hit the snooze bottom, and it goes down from there. And also I think some problem that Pearl Jam has had on the last albums is that some of the songs really sound like Eddie Vedder solo songs and not Pearl
Yeah,
Jam songs.
exactly.
And
And by the way, like you hear it in this album, that a lot of these songs like sound a little bit like some of the last Pearl Jam's albums. Like
yeah, I think
it
Rose
has.
of Jericho would have worked perfectly with Pearl Jam, for example, with that song.
Mhm. Yeah,
But
but like looking at here at the checklist, I am here. I'm just checking out that almost most of the songs were written by Josh Josh Klinghoffer, which is the Hot Chili Peppers guitar player after John Frusciante like quit the
oh
band.
yeah, yeah. So he's in the band. They had Chad
Mm-hmm,
Smith.
mm-hmm.
Who else played on this album that you know of?
I don't know if he played, but I know that he's playing on the live shows. the basis of Jane's Addiction.
Oh, yeah, I think his name is Avery something.
Yeah, something
Yeah.
like that. And but I think like most of the songs like on the recorded session were played and written by Andrew Watt, who's the producer, and also Chad Smith on the drums, and Josh Klinghorn for he did some keyboards and guitars. And so I think that guy is very talented. I think Josh is a very talented musician. Maybe like it didn't work too much with Red Hot Chili Peppers because Red Hot Chili Peppers like has like like a vibe that for some reason the only guitar player that fits there is John Frusciante.
Yeah.
But
But
but for some
he's making it work with Eddie Vedder, and
yeah.
yeah, and I think they're gonna go on tour in next month.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they're coming near me, but it would be interesting to see how it goes. And obviously, uh, I you know that I didn't know that this album was coming out until the whole feud with Motley Crue happened, and then I'm like,
Really.
oh, he has an album coming out. I didn't know, but yeah, I enjoyed it.
That's been weird.
I don't know how much I will go back to it, but I think there's good songs in it,
Mm-hmm.
and obviously I would go see Eddie Vedder live, even if it's not with Pearl Jam, because I think he's amazing live,
Mm-hmm.
and I think some of these songs would translate well live, and obviously maybe even in vinyl they would sound better.
Yeah.
So with you, what's your final score for Earthling by Eddie Vedder?
Okay, I'm a Eddie Vedder like
I know
freak,
you're
you
an
know.
Eddie Vedder
So
fanboy.
so I'm just gonna give I'm just gonna give 4 out of 5
Four out of
because
five.
I don't want to give him like a 3.5, but
Is- You're
maybe
afraid
it's
he's gonna call you.
yeah, maybe it's a 3.5, it's a 3.5, but just because I'm a fan of Eddie Vedder, I will like give just a point 0.5, like add a 0.5 to give it to you know
Perfect.
to yeah,
So
you know
yeah.
what I mean.
So everyone, now you know this is what we thought about the Earthling Eddie Vedder album. So I think if you're a fan of good like rock singer-songwriter songs, I think Earthling
Mhm.
will be right up your alley. And it's definitely an album that you shouldn't sleep on. It's a good album, and I think Eddie Vedder, if I believe if Pearl Jam ended, I think he could have a great career as a solo artist, and he could do
Yeah.
explore different type of sounds, which he does in this album, not to the
Hmm.
full extent, because he keeps it a little bit familiar, but he does some exploring, like on the song where he plays country
Yeah,
and with
but
harmonicas, and he has some different elements. But I think he played it fairly safe with some experimentation.
mm,
But a great
yeah,
album that you
I
shouldn't
agree
sleep
with
on.
I agree with you. I think he experimented a lot. Is something that maybe like he needed to do besides Pearl Jam and everything else. I think it's not a great album, but it's a nice enough album. It's the
It's a good album. You know,
exactly.
people need to realize that decent and good is
Mm-hmm.
good. And you can't give everything a 5 out of 5, or
Mm-hmm.
not everything is amazing, but it is a very enjoyable album. And if you're a fan of that music, it should be right up your alley. So
Mm-hmm.
Eguie, I want to thank you for doing this joint review with me. I know that you love Pearl Jam and Eddie Vedder. So
Yeah.
next time, we'll see what else we can do. So hey, people, check out Earthling, Eddie Vedder, and I'll see you next time on the couch. I'm not on the couch right now, but maybe next time. So until then, rock on. Bye bye.